Welcome! So recently on the channel I showed you some pickups of a Blu-ray nature from HMV. I'd bought a bunch of mostly flip side Blu-ray and DVD dual format releases, and also a couple of standard BFI film releases on Blu-ray as well, all at half price. That was, for me and the way I collect film, which I don't consider myself really much of a film collector, was quite a big haul. However, I can top that with this little lot today. Yep, we're going to get through all of this here from 3 different websites or sellers, and I estimate the amount of Blu-rays, and it's all BFI here, mostly more in the flip side range, which I've really started to enjoy collecting now, but there's a couple fairly soon in that are standard BFI releases. This could be a long one, so settle in, put the kettle on if you need to, go to the toilet, etc. Do what needs to be done, and then we'll get started going through all these, and maybe when I've totted up exactly how many I've ordered here, because it's multiple orders, obviously. A couple of orders from HMV, although they've sent them out in about 6 different packages, and then one from Flashback, and we'll start with the 3 eBay pickups that I have already opened. So from eBay, I got a very early one in the flip side range, and this one is Primitive London, a film by Arnold L. Miller from 1965. A bit unusual, this one, as it's not a dual edition. I don't think they were doing the dual editions this early. This will be, God, maybe getting on for 15 years old now, this actual release. So it's just on Blu-ray. As this is second hand and open, I can give you a bit of a look. I'm not going to spend too long on any of these films, really. I do urge you to go and read up about them more yourself. This is kind of what we get in pretty much all these BFI flip side releases here. The disc, and of course the booklet, which has got essays and cast and crew, a lot of interesting information. And also I like this set because this has got a little 4-page brochure in as well, just introducing people to the flip side range, which would have been pretty new at this point. In fact, of course it was. This is only the 3rd one in that series, and it's got some normal BFI films advertised in the middle as well. This one's a sequel to something that was called London in the Raw, and I think that's number 2 in this range, so a bit weird that I've got the sequel before the original, but I don't think you really have to have seen the first to have seen this one, so I'm looking forward to it, and hopefully one day I'll pick up London in the Raw. From another eBay seller, Primitive London, by the way, that was £8. I think I made a best offer on that. And similarly, this one, I made a best offer of £6, and it's captured. This might be the oldest one, at least for now. Maybe as we get further in, I might have to revise that. But this is the oldest film, because this one is from 1959. It's an interesting thing, this. Like I said, I don't really want to talk too much about each film, because then we'll be here all day, really. But this is a kind of docudrama, and it was only previously ever shown to a highly restricted audience of military officials, and then it was made public for the first time in the Flipside series, and it is number 26. So the series itself, and you can always tell what number they are, as they've got it on the spine there. And yes, that is a young Wilfred Bramble on the front there, he of Steptoe fame and A Hard Day's Night fame. Third and last pickup from eBay. I think this was a standard buy it now purchase for around £6.50, I think, and it is unusually a BBC film rather than a cinematic film, Schalken the Painter. I think this is meant to be kind of like a gothic horror. It's from 1979. Yeah, not really got an awful lot else to say. I'll give you a quick look inside as this is open. But as you can see, this being the dual edition Blu-ray. Then if you've not got a Blu-ray player, then you've got everything on DVD anyway, and booklet, and also on the inside of the sleeve we've got adverts for the range so far. Needless to say, I've not seen any of these before, so just take that as read for, I think, all of these. and if that turns out to be incorrect and I realise I have seen one of them before, I will correct myself later. Alright, on to the first unboxing or mail opening, and yeah, we've got a load to do here, mainly thanks to HMV and them insisting on sending things out separately all the time, even though it's like a bulk order. But this one is just one order of 3 from Flashback Records in London. Of course, I've used them for buying vinyl records plenty of times, but I've also bought DVD and Blu-ray from them a time or two now, because they've always got a really nice second-hand range. I think it's those culture vultures down in the trendy end of London who keep Flashback supplied with these more cerebral kind of cinematic masterpieces here. I have watched all of my last BFI haul, by the way, and as I expected, it was a mixed bag. Some were excellent, and I knew they would be because there's one that I've actually seen before in that HMV haul from on the channel a couple of weeks or so back, and the other ones I'd not seen. Even the worst one out of that haul was enjoyable enough, and some of them were just, wow, yeah, I'm so glad I've seen this film, it's excellent. Anyway, back to the Flashback purchase. Now in here are 2 non-flip side editions, but I just fancied getting them second hand from Flashback, but I trust them, they should be in good condition and with everything that they're supposed to come. First one on top of the pile is When the Wind Blows, so the only animation that you'll see from me today. Originally from 1986, it's a Raymond Briggs animation. It's directed by Jimmy T. Murakami, dual format edition. Raymond Briggs obviously most famous for The Snowman. When the Wind Blows is like a post-nuclear kind of thing. I think it used to get shown on TV, likely Channel 4 quite a lot. I don't actually recall seeing this. I may have done when I was very young, although it might have had sort of elements in it that would have scared me. It is only a PG rated thing, so it's going to be pretty subtle in relation to the allusions to nuclear fallout and things. Quick look in here, we've got the booklet, we've got the 2 discs, Blu-ray and DVD. I was in 2 minds over this, but I do really fancy watching this, and I'm very interested in kind of post-apocalyptic type cinema and drama on TV. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to be annoyed at myself if I don't pick this up. So that is When the Wind Blows. Then there's a double feature here from the BFI, and it's Culloden and the War Game. These are 2 like mockumentaries, really before the term existed, from 1964 and 1965, originally seen on the BBC. So Culloden, and the description reads, brilliantly reconstructs the famous Battle of 1746, and it stunned viewers by approaching its historical subject matter in the style of contemporary TV news coverage. And then Peter Watkins' The War Game, the year later, blended fact and fiction to create a disturbing vision of the personal and public consequences of a nuclear attack, and was banned from TV screens for 20 years. Now, in fairly recent years, I watched for the first time Threads, which was a very similar proposition to The War Game. It was a docudrama mockumentary that came out in the mid-80s, and it remains the most chilling and scary thing I've seen. The War Game, I don't think is quite on that level, but I think there is some sort of, you know, moments in it. It being kind of 20 years older than Threads, and apparently Threads has been remade, but anyway, I won't get into that here. Yeah, it's a 2-disc of this, but both films are on the same disc, but there again, it's a dual format edition. Got some ads for other BFI releases there. The booklets are always really thick and so much reading in them. BFI do an absolutely wonderful job, just from their normal range, their flip side range, and they've got other even more obscure ranges as well, where they focus on specific directors. You can collect all their works in a particular collection, if you see what I mean. It's really the War Game I got this for, but I think it's only out with Culloden, so I'll look forward to seeing them both. And I think all the rest of these now are flip side editions, so I'm certain I've not seen any of these ever. First one here is number 11 in the flip side range, and the last pickup from Flashback. This is The Party's Over. This was, I think, around £10. Culloden and the War Game, I think, was 15, and When the Wind Blows, maybe 12 or 15, not sure. But probably the worst condition of these I've got so far. It's nothing that's a big deal, it's just like some old sticker residue there that I could no doubt shift pretty easily myself, to be honest. This is 1963 to 1965, so obviously this took a while to be made. It stars Oliver Reed and Lynn. The score is by the legendary John Barry. It was written by Mark Beam, who wrote Help, the Beatles film, of course. Right, let's move on. Sorry that I'm not spending more time discussing these. If you know of any of these films, you've seen them, you're fans of them, or maybe you don't like any of these, then let me know. We can have a discussion in the comments, kind of thing. Right then, all the rest is from HMV here. Although it's two separate orders, they still were sending out 2 at a time, 1 at a time, and then the rest. It can't be cost effective for HMV really, but it's their problem, innit, not mine. No idea what's in what package here either. All these were half price, by the way, still using their Deal 50 code, where it's advertised on the website that you can use that code 50% off. The most expensive one out of all these will be £9, and a lot of these were £7.50 or £8. So this one is That Kind of Girl, filmed by Jerry O'Hara, and this is from 1963. As you can see, brand new and sealed, so won't be looking at any booklets or discs now, just to keep this video chugging along. Not going to say any more on it because we've got too many others to look through here. Next package from His Master's Voice is I Start Counting. What number in the Flipside series? This is number 8 actually, so that's relatively early. But this one is actually number 42. This one, unusually, isn't a dual edition. It's still in the Flipside range. You can see there, very small letters. And it's also got the Flipside collection number on the spine. But you can tell just by the weight of this, it's just one disc. Whether the booklet in it is very thick either, I'm not sure. So perhaps at this point, because this will be a relatively new one, I'm looking for a copyright date on here. I mean, the film itself is 1969, but I mean the actual Blu-ray release. 2021. So perhaps they've done away with the dual formats by then. This is certainly the latest so far in the chronology that I've got. Number 42, I Start Counting by David Green, and it's got Jenny Agutter in this. We continue. This one feels like it should have at least 2 in it, I think. Yeah, there is 2 in here. This one, number 27, is Sleepwalker, like a British horror. It's from 1984. It's that late. I didn't actually realise. I thought this one would have been early 70s, but no, it's mid-80s this. Fairly short film as well, 50 minutes, and then it's saying plus extras. There's always loads of extras on here. I've not even gone into all the extras, and you'd need like a second lifetime really to get through some of these extras that they include, you know, the extra little documentaries and short films relating to the director or any of the actors in any of these. So a film by Saxon Logan, all I can say about it really. Number 32 in the Flipside series is Symptoms. This looks like a kind of psychological chiller or horror. Yeah, this sophisticated modern gothic horror film was the official British Palme d'Or entry at the 1974 Cannes Film Festival, but it slipped into obscurity soon after. 92 minutes, and it's directed by Jose Ramon Larraz. And it's been restored by Cinematic of Belgium, apparently. Excellent. On we go. This one feels like this should be maybe 3 in here. 3 or even 4. In fact, this is the next to the last package here. Take the big one, till the end. Yeah, there's 4 in here. Now then, this one is in the Flipside range. It's number 31, and it is Espresso Bongo, and it's a Cliff Richard film. I did not expect that I would be buying a Cliff Richard film at any point in my Blu-ray and movie collecting tenure, but here we are. It's part of the Flipside series, so I wanted it, and it came out in 1959, so along with what was it, Captured, the oldest one in my collection so far, jointly. It'll be like a kind of musical thing, sort of Cliff Richard's take on like an Elvis film sort of thing, really. I'm familiar with the name of the film. I don't know what it's like. I'm a little surprised that it's in the Flipside range, because you'd have thought a Cliff Richard film wouldn't be necessarily that obscure, but perhaps it is. Nice looking design of cover anyway. So that's Espresso Bongo. Then this one is number 45, so quite up there in the line. The Ballad of Tam Lin. This was directed by Ronnie McDowell. It's got Ava Gardner in this. It's evocative, unjustly overlooked folk horror, apparently. And Ian McShane's in this. He was in another of the Flipside films that I've already watched, that I showed in the last video. Stephanie Beacham is in this as well, so a few names who I know in here. 1971, 107 minutes. Then we've got Stranger in the House. This one stars James Mason, Geraldine Chaplin and Bobby Darin. It's from 1967, directed by Pierre Rouve and produced by Dimitri de Grunwald. Yeah, it's a psychological thriller, this. Looks very interesting. I will watch all of these. I will no doubt enjoy some more than others. Bound to be the case here. I'm taking a punt on 20 odd things I've never seen before here. And the last one in the penultimate package, I'm now worried that I'm missing a package here, 'cause this seems to have taken me not as long as I thought, but I've tried not to talk too much about each film. Legend of the Witches and Secret Rites, another dual format. Again, it's in the Flipside range at number 39. From 1970 plus 1971, it's also a mixture of black and white and colour. It's also 85 minutes plus 47 minutes. Ah, yeah, I get it now, because it's actually two films, this. So, Legend of the Witches is the Malcolm Lee film from 1970. That'll be the 85-minute one. Secret Rites, a film by Derek Ford, 1971, 47 minutes. So, a kind of full-length film and then a shorter film. Two for the price of one there. Last one in here, I don't know how many's got to be in here. It's got to be 7 maybe. You can see I've got a bit mad with the old Blu-ray purchasing, but I've just fallen in love with this Flipside range, and I just want to get them all, really, see them all. And it's a marathon, not a sprint, but when I saw that I could pick up more from HMV in particular, and then also a few bits off eBay and Flashback, I figured, why not? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, there's 7 in here. On top of the pile of this final batch is Long Shot. And it's a film about filmmaking, this. Now, when I was reading about this, I was a bit unsure, but it is part of the Flipside range. So even though it kind of sounded a little bit self-indulgent, this, when I was reading about it, I figured, you know what, I'm in for a penny, I'm in for a pound, really. It's from 1978, it's in black and white and colour. Got some interesting people in it. Wim Wenders, who I know, Stephen Frears, Bill Forsyth, Alan Bennett. It is fictional, it kind of looks like it ought to be a documentary, and I think, you know, it's sort of meant to be playing up like a sort of satirical mockumentary style to an extent, I think, but they're classing it, the BFI classing it as a comedy drama. A deadpan verite style comedy drama. Not one I'm massively excited to see, but I got it and I'll watch it and hopefully I'll enjoy it. Private Road, number 14, and this one is from 1971, 89 minutes, a film by Barney Platts Mills, and it stars Bruce Robinson and the lovely Susan Penhaligon, who I'm familiar with. Yep. We move on. I've got a nice precarious pile of Blu-rays there. It's becoming Mount BFI, so I'm hoping they don't all suddenly collapse. Here's another one that seemed quite weird, actually, but it being a Flipside release, I had to have it. Number 36, Red, White and Zero. This is 3 films in one, and then they've just sort of collected them all under the title Red, White and Zero. I will read a little bit about it. They're directed by Peter Brook, Lindsay Anderson and Tony Richardson. Woodfall Films' Portmanteau feature is a major rediscovery, never before released in the UK. The films on it are A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Forum, The White Bus, which was scripted by Sheila Delaney of A Taste of Honey fame, and Red and Blue is the third and final part, but for some reason they combined, even though I don't think they even relate to one another. It's one of these, I'm going to have to watch it and see if I can watch it all the way through. If that's how it recommends you do so. Strange thing, not quite sure of the purpose of packaging 3 films in one like this, but there's obviously some reason behind it. Then we have The Orchard End Murder, number 35. This is from 1981, only 50 minutes this, but it does say plus special features. So shortish film. This was unseen since it originally shocked UK cinema audiences as a supporting feature to Gary Sherman's Dead and Buried. It is an 18 certificate, this. I don't think we've had many 18s so far. Oh, The Legend of the Witches and Secret Rites was an 18, and so is this one. So, yeah, the really scary stuff. The BBFC, the British Board of Film Classification, have upped the ante, as it were. This is directed by Christian Marnham, by the way. Then, from an 18 certificate to a nice, safe U certificate, Lunch Hour, 1962. This has got Shirley Ann Field in it, Robert Stevens, and it's a film by James Hill. Shirley Ann Field gives an unforgettable performance as a young designer on the brink of an affair with a married man, and it's a plot told in real time during an illicit lunch hour. So there we go. But it will be relatively sort of safe, for want of a better term, with it being a U certificate. 2 more left to look at now. This one I know is another double feature. It is number 15 in Flipside, and it is Duffer and also The Moon Over the Alley. 2 films by Joseph Despard and William Demarest. Duffer was 1971, The Moon Over the Alley I think was 1975. They are both in black and white. Duffer is 75 minutes, Moon Over the Alley 108 minutes. I don't know if the 2 are related to one another, whether Moon Over is a follow-up. I don't think so. I think just because they're by the same directors, they've just included them as a double set here. Very good. And finally, and of course these were in no order, that's just how I picked them up out of the boxes. This one is Bronco Bullfrog, film by Barney Platts Mills. We already had one from him earlier on, didn't we? He's getting covered at least twice within the Flipside range, and it is number 13, by the way. Dell, a young apprentice, and his 15-year-old girlfriend Irene have no money and nowhere to go. Angry and frustrated, they turn to Bronco Bullfrog, fresh out of Borstal and living an independent lifestyle, for a taste of fun and freedom. From 1969, black and white, 87 minutes. Lovely. Well, I'm going to have a count up here of exactly how many separate editions I looked at, because obviously some of these have got 2 features on. One of them technically has got 3 features on it, but I'll count the specific Blu-rays. I've counted 21. That was actually a bit under what I thought it'd be, but that is still a lot of films to buy basically within the space of about 1 week. A bit of a splurge, to say the least, but when I'm all in really. So much to enjoy, and all of it I think for the very first time. Even When the Wind Blows, which looks kind of like the most familiar to me, I can't say for certain that I've ever seen it, although I feel I may have done when I was quite young and I just can't remember. Let me know what you reckon to all these Blu-ray pickups from BFI. You see for yourself, there's a great mixture of the obscure, the unusual, and the odd kind of thing that you will have heard of here from BFI. I enjoyed buying and watching the last lot from HMV. I thought, you know what, certainly the Flipside range in particular, I want to just really start getting to work on that. And obviously with Culloden, The War Game and When the Wind Blows, they're non-Flipside, but I fancied seeing those as well. So thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this absolutely gigantic Blu-ray haul here. courtesy of the British Film Institute. Special thanks go to my wonderful subscribers and generous patrons. I'm going to go now, make a start on these. What to start with? I mean, the sensible thing probably would be to do the flip sides in numerical order, but have I ever been sensible? Not really. And they're all going to get watched eventually. It's going to take me months, I think, because, you know, I'm going to break for other things that come out on streaming and what have you. So yeah, lots and lots of films to carry me through to however long it is before I decide that I want to add some more of these to my collection. So please, will you join me again next time for my next Blu-ray unboxing video. Cheers everyone. See ya!